You're listening to the When Life Hands You Lennon's podcast.
But in an entry-level film production, it's one strike and you're out. You're fired. I'm not calling you back.
If your goal today is to make a basket, we're going to make that basket.
The minute you create something, as soon as it's made tangible, you have a copyright in it.
How do I get our guys to sound that big, that full when they do the harmonies?
And I'm your host, Lennon Seahawk. Let's get to the show. Yo, welcome to another episode of When Life Hands You Lennons. I'm super hyped with this episode because I have a very special guest. His name is Bok Nero. Now, he is one of the most featured vocalists on all of EDM's tracks. He's been on so many tracks with artists like Riot Ten, Grillz, Shizz Lo, QUIX, Uzi, and a whole other plethora of artists. Now, in this episode, we talk about what Bok Nero does for his community, which is one of the most impactful conversations that I've had, and what he does and gives back to his community and the younger generation. So we talk about that. And we talk about that at the end, so stick around for that. We also talk about his creative process, which is very interesting to me, and how he songwrites and comes up with his lyrics. We talk about how he functions in the studio and how his mind kind of works, which is also very interesting. Most artists will typically write their lyrics down before they get into the studio, and then the producer or whomever will just hit record and you'll go. However, Bok Nero works a little bit differently, which I find very interesting. He just jumps into the studio, gets the vibe, gets the energy, and just whatever comes to mind, comes to mind. So once they hit record, it's whatever comes to mind at that point, which I think is very interesting. Now, he has also dubbed Hood EDM as his genre, and it's a very high-octane, inspirational, very energetic genre. And if you listen to a lot of the tracks that he's either produced or written or even been featured on, you'll definitely hear his really kind of grungy, high-octane, festival-ready, bang your head type style. So this is a super, super inspiring conversation because Bok Nero has a very interesting story. He's a very interesting guy. And we've been connected for probably 4 or 5 years now on Instagram, but we've never connected in person. So it was actually real fun to connect with somebody who I've been connected with for quite a few years. And we finally were able to make the conversation super inspiring and able to share it with all of you, our first interaction together. Before I let you go, I want to remind you to sign up to my email list because it helps me notify you when new episodes are live. Also follow me on Instagram. I'm posting some things about the podcast there. And keep up with my daily life if that interests you, or the things I'm working on, the projects that I'm working on. I'd also appreciate a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening to podcasts. You can subscribe to me on YouTube, leave a comment on the video. You can do all kinds of stuff. Anything that helps the show is really, really appreciated. And I appreciate all the support that all of you listeners have provided to me up until this point. If you or somebody you know would be a good guest for the show, there is a guest request form in the show notes below. So please fill it out or send it over to somebody you know, and then I will reach out if you're a good guest. You can also visit my website, lennonseahawk.com. I post all my music, blog posts, things there as well. So without further ado, let's dive in to the conversation with Bok Nero.
Well, look, I started in Philly, born and raised. I started off battle rapping in high school. That's how I just got into music. And then I wanted to translate it into something to where as though I could, just make a living off of it and just really do it after I got out of school and shit. So I started going to like different studios, meeting different people, different vibes, being around all different type of music and shit. And I think 2011, that was my first time ever going to like an EDM festival. No, 2011 or 2013, I went to Ultra. And that was the first music festival I ever went to. So I seen how the crowd was responding. And at the time I was doing like punk rap and shit. So I'm like, damn, I could fuck with that energy. I understood the energy. So I just transferred that punk rap that I was doing into like EDM, and I already had the energy, I already had the attitude, so that shit wasn't nothing. You feel me? So, I started doing shit with Jalil Beats in Philly, and shit just got lit. You feel me? Like that's when shit really started like picking up for me. I already had like a Philly buzz prior to that because I ran around with my group Blind Gang doing like, you know, independent shit. We had like labels looking at us, RCA, sleeping deals on the table and shit, but you know, we fell apart. Just, you know, egos and all that shit. You know what I mean? We was young at the time. So I started fucking with Jalil Beats, and that's Meek Mill producer. Like they came up together and shit. It'd be like Metro Boomin and 21 Savage, or like Future and Sunny Digital. You know, just that duo and shit. So that's how Meek and Jalil was for Philly. So, you know, just to be working with him, you know what I mean? I just a bunch of doors open, a bunch of situations opened up for me. And it was lit, man. From there, Jalil and Uzi actually introduced me to Steve Aoki. Like I was dealing with Jalil, and him and Steve got cool, you know, through whatever, however they did it, whatever. And I was already, at the time, I was doing like my hip hop and EDM shit. Like I didn't coin it as hood EDM yet, but I was doing it, you feel me? So I flew out to LA, got cool with a couple of folks out there, and Jalil, I didn't meet Steve at the time, like personally, but I was in the DMAC office, you know what I'm saying? I was playing on my music, this and that. And then I flew back home, and then we was in Northeast, and Uzi came to my man crib, because we always used to go to his crib. We listen to beats, SoundCloud, you know, freestyle and all this shit. And he had came up to my man crib. He was just playing me this project. It was probably like May 28th, March 27th or some shit, because it was before my birthday, April 4th. And he was just playing me the project that he was about to drop. And I was telling him like, yo, I'm about to go, you know what I mean, back to LA. I'm about to meet Steve, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to get this EDM shit popping. He's like, all right, bet. Yeah, that's love. And him and Steve was actually working on the project. And he mentioned my name to Steve. And, you know what I'm saying, told him that I was at the DMAC office, this and that. So, you know, he had put the bug in his ear for me. And, you know, just coming from like them two cosigns, that shit really was lit for me. So, you know, that's how me and Steve got cool and started fucking making music together. And I was releasing all this shit on DMAC and all that and whatnot. So, yeah. And now I'm doing hood EDM. Like I coined that term. And that shit just be lit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a high energy. It's trap. Is I do my research. Like I don't just like dive into music and exploit it, or any subgenre of any type of dance culture and just exploit it. Like I do my research. Like before I did ballet funk, before I did like Dumbo or any type of like culture-based music, I go to the culture. Like I was in Brazil with Yellow Club. We shot a video down there. I actually was in the favelas walking around talking to the people, still got numbers and connections to this day that I still reach out to. So when I'm doing this music, it's culture-based, you feel me? Like I cover all aspects of EDM. Like I'm the most featured lyricist on EDM vocals. And that was fucking confirmed by Summerfest before I, you know, did that show in like 2019. So yeah, bro, I got features with everybody. Like I did all types of songs and all types of genres, and I just be lit with that shit. You feel me?
Yeah, you've got quite a roster of features. You like QUIX, Riot 10. I've listened to a lot of your stuff, and especially your stuff with like Riot 10. I love Riot 10. Followed him for quite a few years. And how many features do you think you have, like in total?
I don't even know, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. I never counted because I just always wanted to work and always wanted to, you know what I'm saying, keep that reputation for just being punctual, on time. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's like me going out, like I flew out to LA. I did a record with Zomboy called Riot Ten. I flew out to LA and I met with him and Schism, and we locked in the studio for like 6 hours the first day. Then we locked in for like 7 hours the next day. And at the time I wasn't familiar with Zomboy. but I was familiar with Schism, and I had a lot of respect for him because I used to, watch the stuff that they used to do over in Europe and shit. Well, like Screaming Banger and all them bulls, like all them OGs. So, once I sat down with Zomboy, he was cool as shit. I listened to like his ideas and how he wanted to like do certain drum patterns and shit. So it, the me going over there was way more intricate and detailed than me just like him sending me a beat, me rapping over it and then sending it back. So yeah, bro, like that's another thing with me. I don't just work with anybody, but I do have a lot of features with like a lot of like well-renowned DJs, but I don't just work with anybody. You feel me? Like there's a lot of features that I turned down, like you know what I'm saying. But yeah, Riot 10, QUIX, they my dogs. Like QUIX, I dropped a record called No Problems, and he actually remixed it. So that was like one of my first like big songs that got remixed and played out by like major lasers at Ultra, and I remember that moment. So like same thing with Riot 10. Like the first time I ever worked with him, he had produced something for me. You feel me? So you know what I mean. Those dudes was like so when it came time for me to like do verses for them or like contribute to their project, like it was a no-brainer. You feel me? Because the relationships was already there. Like I probably knew Riot 10 like a year before we even worked on anything. You know what I'm saying? Sure. And
do you feel that you click better and work better when you can work with somebody that you already know, or do you like the idea of just jumping in with somebody, or does that kind of play into like your not working with everybody and you turn down a lot of people?
If the vibe not there, I can't really fuck with you, and I'm gonna just keep that at being like I ain't gonna say no names, but it was just certain artists that I ain't really click with, like regardless of their stature or what I'm saying, with the record could potentially do for my career is like if my soul ain't in it and if I don't feel your vibe, I can't really fuck with you. So
of course,
but,
yeah, that's an interesting point. Yeah, you can't, like, if the energy's not there, then there's no point in working. Like it's difficult to work with somebody that you don't vibe with. How do you do a lot of your own production, or do you have people produce for yourself, or are you doing a lot of lyrical work? Or
let me get a charger. Hey Chef, you got a charger? I'm on this interview real quick. You got a charger?
In that bag in there.
All right.
Or it should be plugged into the laptop.
All right, good. No, I'm talking about for my phone. All right. So with oh yeah, there we go. So when it comes to production, like I feel like the vibe definitely got to be there. Like when it comes to production for my projects and shit, like I like to play a big part in like the design of the sound. You feel me? But I don't. My bad. You still there?
Yep. I'm still here.
But yeah, so I just really play, like I try to be very involved in the sound design when it comes to like records that I work on, because I got so many different flows and like how I approach something might change, or I might have a different feeling, and if it's not like captured on the record, then it's what I'm saying, it makes it a little bit harder for me to do my part on it. You feel me? So I like to be very involved with the production.
Interesting. And do you have like a lot of musical experience or like music theory, or do you just go by what you hear and what sounds good?
It's a little bit of both. Like my music theory comes from singing on the choir as a youngin'. You feel me? Like I understand different tones. I read music. I understand notes and tonality and how different octaves mesh and balance and complement another octave. So, but again, at the same point, it's still a feeling. Like it's something that you feel and hear. You feel me? Like somebody can. There's been times where I've sung wrong notes purposely because it felt right. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta take that into consideration. Like everything that you read out of a textbook can't prepare you for like a real life situation or like a real life emotion that you encounter just dealing with different people or like different shows and shit, or just how you feel.
Mm. Yeah, that's good. That's a good point. So what? How do you start your creative process? Like, how do you start writing lyrics? Do you start? Do you have like a bunch of stuff that you've already written, and then you kind of wait for the production to come in from somebody, or do you really kind of write when you're in the studio with, say, Zomboy or Riot 10 or QUIX or whoever?
I'm gonna keep it a bean. I gotta feel it, and I haven't written physically anything in a while. But I feel it. You feel me? Like we feed the spirit of the beats. We feed energy into the music before we even, you know, do something to it or like speak on it, because you gotta like. It's like a form of like it's like a form of meditation. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta like mentally prepare yourself to be in this energy or this vibe or whatever message that you want to like tell or story that you want to tell on this music. Is like you got to feel it before you know what you're about to say. And that's why a lot of times it's easy for me to just get on the beat. Like when I did that with Zomboy, I didn't write anything. I went in there, pieced it together, and I felt it. Some things I changed. No, let me do it like this. All right, he talked about these drums. All right, matter of fact, I'm gonna do it like this. You know what I'm saying? Now it's more of a collaboration that way. It's more of something that y'all both feel, as opposed to me bringing predetermined thoughts into a situation that's just happening right now.
And when you're writing those lyrics, you're writing them on the fly. You're not like writing anything down or anything like that. You're virtually kind of coming up with them and then on the spot just recording them.
Yeah, that shit coming from here. Like
Wow.
whatever I'm thinking or however I feel, sometimes it's gonna be, I'm gonna say it without even necessarily having to overthink it or think about it too much, because that's how I really feel.
So how do you get a lot of creative freedom when you're working with other people? Do they kind of let you take the reins on the vocals and then they focus on other things, or how do you work with other musicians?
Absolutely. Especially like if it's a producer, I'm a vocalist. You feel me? Like this is my love. This is my area of expertise, regardless of how accomplished you are, how many, platinum records you have. Like I'm a vocalist. You can't tell me how I feel and how I'm gonna tell this story. You know what I'm saying? Like I can throw suggestions as far as production, just how you can throw suggestions as far as my vocals, but like when it comes to like, that's how I feel, and I know people gonna connect with how I feel and what I say, how I say.
Yeah, I like to ask that question because everybody has a different story to tell. Everybody has a different feeling, and they feel different ways about different situations. And you may have a situation that's very deeply personal that you want to sing about or rap about, and then you're working with whomever, and they can't relate to that story at all because they weren't even involved in it. But you feel that that's the best lyric for that production, and that energy and that tone is best fit for that moment. So how do you do you ever have those moments where you just kind of have to not necessarily force it, but do you go into productions or the studio more hyped, and how do you get hyped, or how do you come up with the lyrics so quickly? Like I find that so amazing how you're able to do that.
I mean, I'm around a bunch of inspiration. You feel me? I'm in Obsidian Studios. This is my partner, G the Shep Studio. I'm just around a bunch of inspiration all day. Like I'm not like I'm in the hood. I'm in the hood. I'm around my friends. He do punk rock music. My man Mr. J. He do like rhythm, and I don't even listen to rhythm. Only time I hear it for real is when he playing it. You feel me? So I'm just around all different types of vibes, all different types of inspiration. And I've always been one to grab inspiration from places that's not typically where you get inspired at. You know what I'm saying? Like if I want to write a hip hop song, I might listen to a rock song. If I want to write a pop song, I might listen to this City Girl twerk joint. You feel me? So it's just I'm always around inspiration. There's always something to talk about. There's always something happening. You know what I mean?
So what are some of your most inspirational moments in the last couple years? I mean, growing up in Philadelphia, in a bigger city, there's, like you said, there's a lot going on. So what are some of the moments that you can kind of go back to and be like, this was a this was one of those moments?
There's a lot of pivotal moments on all levels. For me personally, just like being able to stay out the way for the most part in Philly is like, it's easy to get caught up in, something here or just be in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's just living every day by day for the most part. That's just inspiration in itself. But like pivotal moments as far as like artistry, things that I've done that have inspired my future self or my present self. When I look back on, I did a video called "How About the Phantom," and we rented a Phantom, and then I had the Phantom. I'm riding around 7th Street in South Philly, around Snyder Avenue, and I don't think I don't think Phantoms come around there. You feel me? So, I'm not even gonna say I don't think. I know Phantoms don't come around there. Like you don't see Rolls Royces in South Philly on 7th Street. So I'm riding around shooting a video. I'm inspiring kids. So if you look at the video, there's a part where these kids pull up on these bikes and they see me hanging out the car, my hair all crazy. And, they like start wheeling, start doing tricks. And that's Philly culture right there. So that wasn't planned. We actually happened to just capture that Philly culture on camera on a small block in South Philly.
Wow.
Kids, they see me, they get inspired, exchange information with them. I still follow them on Instagram to this day. And that was a moment for me. And I know that was a moment for them, you feel me? And I took that Phantom, I had that around the city. But that definitely was a pivotal moment for me.
And when was this?
Say it again?
When was this?
This was like 2017.
Okay, about 4 years ago.
Yeah, the joint is called "How About the Phantom." Jalil Beats produced it.
Okay.
And that was my first big record. Yeah, that was my first big joint. Like we had commercials on Tequila 1800. I had like so much tequila for like that whole year. I was just giving it away at that point. Like, you get the sponsorship, they just start showing love. You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah. And there's, So I love that. I think that's a beautiful thing. And I think that moment will live on with those kids for the rest of their lives. Like they'll never forget that moment. So what types of things do you think are necessary for the creative growth in young kids? And what do you think is important for kids who are in South Philly, like you mentioned?
They gotta see it. Like it's not enough to tell kids like, yo, you can do it. Just stay on this path and stay out of trouble because like, where we from, all the bad guys is winning. You feel me? Quote unquote bad guys. The people that's breaking the rules, that's what, you know what I'm saying? That's what gets you ahead. So if you want them to do something, do better or be better, you got to show them an example. You feel me? And I'm that perfect example. Like I born North Philly, 21st and Dolphin, and I go around the world doing something that I love. Is, you know what I'm saying? And I show him, I come back and I show my nephews, like, I was just on this magazine. You know what Jimmy Kimmel is? Yeah, I just did that. He show his friends, he talked to his friends. Anytime he tell me, yo, my friends outside, they want to come talk to you. I come out, chop it up with all their friends. I help them do basic stuff. Like I teach the youngins how they tie their do-rags. We throw the football, the cliche, stuff that you're supposed to do on the block. And it's like, all right, y'all. Now they got a connection with me. They got they familiar with me, right? So now like, next time they see me, we follow each other on the gram, The next time they see me, I'm on stage in front of like 40,000 people. But I'm reachable. So now when I come back, you asking me what it's like. And I'm telling you exactly like, this is like this. Oh yeah, yo, the flames come up real high. So you feel them, even though you're not like right on them, you feel like they that close to you. And it's like, I'm showing y'all like, yeah, this is what I wanted to do since I was in high school battle rapping. And now I'm doing it. It's not going to be easy. There's a lot of sacrifices, but it's possible. And here, this is me showing you what I'm doing. Now, you show somebody how to do what you're like. Just need examples. They just need examples.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. And I love having artists and being connected with people who are so forthgiving with their expertise. Like you've had a lot of success in the music industry and you've really worked incredibly hard to be where you're at and you're showing an incredible example. Uh, and I know people around you, those kids especially, will greatly appreciate it and will continue to look up to you. I mean, I just gained a new respect for you because I didn't know you did all that stuff. And that's absolutely amazing. I think the younger generation is absolutely the future, and leading by example is absolutely key to show these kids who may or may not be in a position to have that motivation or be pushed every day to do what they want to do. So to have that example is amazing. Is
Facts. I
amazing.
make it a point, man. I go around the schools. I mean, before COVID, I was going to schools speaking to kids. I did a tour of going to schools.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Speaking to the kids, talking to them. I always show them like the videos of me main stage ultra with Steve Aoki, or you know what I mean. Just like I just show these kids like, yo, it's like we all people at the end of the day, but you can do what you want to do if you put the work in and you make the sacrifices for it.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, people don't. I guess I assume. I don't even assume people know that about me. That's just not something that I like. I don't broadcast me going to these schools, or like
Sure.
I never posted a flyer about the school tour that I did because it's not for that. You know what I mean? It's for the kids.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
probably why people wouldn't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Of course. Of course. Yeah, I think a lot of times, today everybody has to record something that when they're doing something for the greater good of humanity, they have to like record it and show it to the world. And I feel like they're doing it simply for that fact, just so they can get a reaction from people rather than just being in the moment and educating those kids or speaking at that event or motivating somebody or helping someone.
I talked to my man about that. It's crazy that you say that because I say, you know what I mean? Like, if you do it for the camera, is it really for it? And then he say,
Mm.
if no matter what you're doing it for, you inspiring other people to do it, right? Then you're still helping somebody. And, we go back and forth about it. And then, like, I'm more so a person that's like, let's be in the moment. Let's do it for that moment. But no, I see what you're saying for sure. But it's definitely like, two sides to that coin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if you didn't have somebody doing it for the camera, then you wouldn't have those examples to point to when you're living in that moment. So it's like it weighs out. It weighs out, but there's a lot of people that I see out there that they're just doing it for the camera, and it's like it's not authentic. It doesn't feel genuine, and it's like I feel like this is really fake.
Facts.
You're just doing it for the likes and the comments and
Exactly.
attention. And
Yeah,
it's
you
like,
definitely see a lot of that.
yeah, for sure. So do you do music full time? Like
Yeah,
like your living is entirely on music?
music, other hustles, merch, up here, travel more, of course. You know what I'm saying? That's the
Hell
lifestyle. And
yeah.
that's
Hell yeah.
before COVID. You feel me? It's just a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. So, like I'm in the studio right now. I'm here all the time. I pretty much live here. You feel me? We dedicate our time just developing artists, younger artists, working on our craft. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. So who are some of the artists that you really see could have a lot of potential that are kind of up and coming in
That
EDM or whatever genre you're in?
I feel like just like of course we got our artists, Baby Lee.
Mm-hmm.
She in the other room. She stay in the studio. Literally, we just worked on some records. My youngin' Blase. Yo, hold on. We got Intercon. Yo, Blase. Blase here? Yeah, he downstairs, but I mean, listen, we always working on something. But as far as like people, you know what I'm saying, like in the EDM world that, will be like somebody that people know. I know the kid, More Kismet. I see that they're making some waves.
Okay.
Is this kid, but yeah, he making waves. and like inspiring people, you know what I'm saying? There's a couple of artists, especially like artists in Philly. J Huff, very, 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 very talented rapper from Philly. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? We working here, man. I do artist development as well. You feel me? Like I like to pass the knowledge and the shit that I learned to the younger generation, because it's like, y'all the future. Y'all gonna take this shit further.
Yeah, and there's so many tools and technologies and things out there that you can use that didn't exist 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
I feel like they teach it. The younger ones is teaching me about the new shit that's coming up. So they keeping me, you know what I'm saying? They keeping me sharp, still sharp and still.
That's very important. So what's next? How do you? I know I should have clarified this at the beginning of the interview, but how do you say your name? Is it Bok Nero? Okay.
Bok Nero, yeah.
Bok Nero.
So
Okay.
Bakir is my first name. Everybody think Bok is made up, but that's just my first name. You feel me? That's the short version of my first name. Nero came from the Roman Emperor Nero. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, because I used to always see that shit like when I'd be in the studio and they burn the CDs and they'd be like Nero. And I'm like, why is that? And they just associate Nero with fire. So now it's like, you know what I'm saying? De Nero.
Yeah. Cool.
You know?
Cool. Yeah. I wasn't sure if it's Book or Bok, but Bok Nero. Cool.
Yeah, Bok Nero.
So what's next for you? Like what's in the works? What's coming down the line in a year? I'm sure you intend on going on tour. Like what's kind of next? Are you really focusing on your own project? Are you working on a lot of collaborations? What can we expect?
So I'm working on my own. What's up? No, you can eat them. Them Jones look like they've been sitting there for like 4 months. It's like, no, they fresh. But no, for me, I mainly, honestly, I've been working on my music. I've had time to sit and really focus on these sounds, these vibes, this energy. And before it was like before COVID, you know, you do songs, but now you under a time crunch, because it's like, all right, you got to hurry up and have these songs ready before these tours start or festival season start. And you know, you got to have these bangers to stand on. So when you do these shows, you know what I mean? You have the songs that you're playing that everybody wants to hear. All right, cool, boom, boom. So now it got to a point where I fell into a cycle of making records for the festivals, for the moments, as opposed to making them timeless. You feel me? So now it's like I'm in a position to where as though I have all the time in the world to create exactly what I want to create. From visual direction, I direct my own videos. You know, I play a big part in editing them with my guy Day-to-Day Chase, and Vaughn, who's my lead videographer. Take her everywhere. She documents my life. Everything from the creative aspect, you know what I'm saying? Writing the treatments out for the videos. And it's just time that I've never had, or I'm not gonna say I never had, but I haven't had for the past 3 years from being on the road so much, you feel me? Between doing my own stuff, my hood EDM stuff, you know, touring with Steve Aoki. It's just like, you know, it was never really any time to like actually sit and like feed that spirit and that energy into the track, how I, you know, like to do. And so yeah, I'm excited. And like, yeah, I've had show offers. I've took some spot dates, but I haven't had that like that itch to get on the road and be like, oh yeah, I'm going for 2 months, because like I know it's coming, I know it's there, but I know like this time when I go, it's going to be how I want to go. You feel me? Like, and like, but because it was like 2020, it was about to be very, very busy. I was in China in January 2020. Then as soon as I came back, I did my shows in China. Then when I came back, I had shows lined up, like spot one-offs. And then from there, went right into touring with Steve. So I didn't have any breaks. And then I realized that that's how everything was like for the past couple of years. So, you know, just enjoying this. And the shows is going to come, man. I'm not tripping. I'm not sweating. feel me? They there. They gonna be there because I am who I am. Yo, Blazer. I was just talking to bro about you too. But yeah, they gonna be there. They gonna be
Cool.
there. Especially if you make the right music.
Yeah, this has been a really interesting time. I mean, a lot of artists have had a lot of time to kind of sit back and just take a breather and just focus on their own craft and like spend time with their friends and families and like just get off the road and kind of focus, like get some sleep, I suppose. But then also creating that music that you just haven't had the time to do, because when you're on the tour all the time, your mind is being pulled and you're being pulled in so many directions and traveling, and jumping on a plane and all that stuff. But yeah, so many directions. I can imagine how exhausting it is.
Like even trying to record with a busy schedule, like a busy tour schedule, like even a bus tour, man, like you figure you save time not going to the airport. But I did a record for Uzi, UZ, trap producer. I remember I did a record for him in a studio in New Mexico that my manager had to book before I got there. But then like by the time we got there, and between then and my set, I only had like 2 hours to record, which is cool, which is fine. But like vibe wise and actually settling in from like, you know what I'm saying? Like I've never been to the studio before. I don't know this person. And I'm like out here recording this record with him. And I got to send, you know what I mean? So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man, 2 hours to, I mean, yeah, that wouldn't even give me time to like settle in. You don't know anybody. You've never been in the studio, totally new state. It's like, what's going on here? And you like, I'm hungry. Where's food and all that stuff. Yeah, for sure. So you're totally independent. You don't have a record. You're not signed to a record label. Do you have a publishing deal or anything?
Nah, everything's independent. All of my contracts expire. So totally independent right now. Of course, my relationships are still strong because I'm a very punctual person, very reliable person. So I can go somewhere and get something. But I like where I'm at right now. I feel like God literally stopped the world for me to be at this point and find this peace of mind.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. That's amazing. So when you're releasing music, do you have your own label, or are you kind of shipping these releases out and just kind of like signing them one off, one here, one label here, one label there?
So what I do is, me and my partner, we just started Obsidian Entertainment. This is Obsidian Studios that we're in right now. And we have our own artists that we like to, cultivate and, groom. And like, bro, there's so many diverse artists that come through the studio. So, we just said, fuck it, we're going to start our own shit, Obsidian Entertainment. So I'm releasing a lot of my music on our platform through our label. And certain records that I hear or I feel like it fits with a certain label, I just, yo, bro, what you think of this? I feel like I got a lot of relationships over time that to where as though I can just, yo, bro, what you think of this? Like I sent Niels and Jim the Canary record with Ghoster, met Ghoster like when I was out in Shanghai because he's from out there. Me and bro clicked. We clicked. Like that's why when we did the record, it was so easy. It just came together, and I put the visual together. Yo, bro, what you think of this? This, that. Boom, boom, boom. All right, cool. That joint just came out Friday, like last Friday. So, I love EDM. It's always hood EDM. Anytime I, put my essence on a record. So that's never going to like be a hard thing for me to do or something that I would fall out of love with. You know what I'm saying?
So what exactly, I know you described it a little bit at the beginning, but what exactly is hood EDM and why did you call it hood EDM? So
it's hood EDM because, so Annie Nightingale from BBC Radio, she actually like coined the term, you feel me? Because when I did my intro, I did my BBC Radio mix with my partner Shizz Lo. Shouts out to Shizz. And I forgot what I said on the intro, but when she heard it, she was like, she was like, yeah, EDM. I'm like, yo, that's exactly what it is, because it's not only hip hop blended with dance music or one specific style of dance music. Is the energy. I'm bringing the culture with me when I come. You feel me? Like I'm bringing my experiences and my stories from South Philly. I'm telling you, I'm showing you those kids that was on the block that I talked to. I'm showing you those kids that I talked to in those classrooms and stuff. So I'm bringing all that with me to the stage when I come. You feel me? It's more that's bigger than the music. It's a culture. It's a lifestyle.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So EDM is neighborhood shit. You feel me? So electronic dance music.
Do you have like a typical, like, what's the message for hood EDM? Like, what is it? If somebody were to come in and be like, what is hood EDM? What's the message here?
It's a feeling that you
It's a feeling.
like. It's a feeling. You can't. It's not going to sound one way. It's how you feel. Like you don't always feel one way. You don't always sound one way. When your emotions change, the pitch of your voice might change. That's why my records sound so different, because everything is an emotion. I might be feeling one way one day. I might be feeling one way on this record. So when a DJ hits me up, or like, let's say like Steve Aoki hits me up, Yellow Claw hits me up, and they're like, yo, I want you to hop on this record. It's not because they heard it and said, oh yeah, he always sounds like this, so I know he'll kill it. It's like, yo, he always puts emotion into this record, so I know he'll find the right energy to put onto this song. Is, you know what I mean? I've never had that problem with like someone having to tell me like, oh yeah, like, bro, yeah, we wanted you to do it like this, and that. It's like, no, like, y'all know what I do. Y'all know I'm in tune with my shit. So, you know what I'm saying? Give me that shit. I'm gonna kill it.
Wow. Amazing. Yeah, that's great. I think that's a great place to kind of wrap things up. I know you were going to head out with your friend, so I don't want to take too much of your time. But yeah, this has been great. Great conversation. Great to connect with you actually in person. I know we've been following each other on Instagram, or connected on Instagram for quite a few years now.
For sure.
So it's great to connect. What were you going to say?
Likewise, bro. No, I was saying, I remember we had connected a minute ago, like a while ago. So
yeah, it was a few years ago.
Yeah, so good to see you.
Good to see you as well. And it's hopefully when you head out on tour, I'll be able to swing by. If you're ever out in Los Angeles, hit me up. Would love to grab lunch or head out and see you. Support you in any way I can, because you're doing amazing work. So thank you for everything you do for the community and what you do for the youngins.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm gonna just start sending you some like some records to hear before I drop them shit, just so you can get a vibe.
Yeah, of course. So last thing before we go, how can everybody kind of keep up with you and follow your work?
Follow me, BokNero.com. You could go to Bok Nero on any platform. I'm on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Tidal, all that. Everything, everywhere is Bok Nero, BOKNERO. And if that's a message that I can give to anybody, branding is very important. And just make yourself easy to find. You feel me?
Sure.
Bok Nero on all platforms. They want to find me.
Great. Cool. Well, like I said, it was great to connect with you. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me, bro. Real shit. It was good to talk to you. Real shit.
Yeah. Ditto. Stay safe out there. Stay healthy. Keep doing what you're doing, and we'll talk soon.